right, it is 9 p.m. East African time. A very good evening to you wherever you're watching us from, and welcome to Hope TV News Watch on this 30th day of July 2024. My name is Kennedy Kimani, and signing for us tonight is Boniface Moridi. Now, the recruitment process of IEBC commissioners is likely to be thrown into disarray as a sharp difference on the composition of the selection panel emerged on Tuesday. The National Liberal Party has clarified its participation in the IEBC selection process, addressing concerns about transparency and legitimacy in the larger Azimio coalition. The party, which is a member of the Azimio la Umoja coalition, has threatened to move to court after Dr. Augustus Muli's name was replaced by one Koki Muli in the selection panel. Mombi Waweru begins our bulletin with the following report.
Has been removed after a lawful, open, transparent, competitive election.
Dr. Augustus Chalo Muli, the National Liberal Party leader, has protested the move to be struck out of the IEBC Commissioners Selection Panel and threatened to move to court to stop the whole process. The National Liberal Party NLP, which is a member of the Azimio la Umoja coalition, is disputing the nomination of Wiper Party's Koki Muli, who was appointed to replace Dr. Augustus Chalo.
We have PPLC.
In a press briefing, the NLP Party Secretary General Omondi Koyo said the Political Party Liaison Committee PPLC, the nominating body, shared the election procedures and notices with all political parties that revealed Chalo was validly elected to the committee.
Prior to all these notices, we gather information that Azimio la Umoja through Junet Mohammed and their cronies, they submitted falsified documents to the Office of the Register of Political Parties indicating that one Dr. Ambassador Muli Koki had been nominated by PPLC to represent the interest of the minority coalition. As political parties in Azimio, we raised an objection, and registrar also communicated to Azimio through Junet Mohammed that all the documents that were submitted to the office had been rejected and they should start the process afresh according to the structures that are stipulated in the PPLC structure.
Koyo accused Azimio Secretary General Junet Mohammed and Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka of shortchanging and hijacking the PPLC-led mandate to second the name of Koki, saying the duo has usurped their mandate even as they appealed for a speedy intervention by the National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula to rein on the matter. Koyo and Muli stated that they will fight for inclusion in the selection panel even if it is going to court to halt the process.
Results of the balloting were recorded in results declaration forms and indicated that our candidate, Dr. Augustus Chalo Muli, garnered 16 votes. 16. And out of the possible 23 votes, while Dr. Koki Muli was flawed miserably and got 7 votes. Our candidate was further issued with a signed certificate by the returning officer for IEBC and therefore declared the winner to represent the minority coalition, with alliance and both candidates signing and endorsing this exercise.
President William Ruto is expected to gazette the names of the selection panel members to kickstart the hiring process of the electoral commissioners.
Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka and Dr. Koki Gregon Muli and the Junet Mohammeds of this world, they don't have a certificate from IEBC. How then do you present falsified documents?
The selection panel has 3 months to finalize its recruitment to exercise and forward the names of the nominees to the president and shall thereafter stand dissolved unless its mandate is extended by parliament. Mombi Waweru, Hope TV News Watch.
Thank you so much, Mombi, for that report. Now, President William Ruto has nominated Dorcas Agik Oduor for the position of Attorney General. Oduor, who currently serves as the Secretary of Public Prosecutions at the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, is a High Court advocate with a master's degree in International Conflict Management from the University of Nairobi and a Bachelor's of Law from the same institution. She also holds a diploma in law from the Kenya School of Law. After dismissing his cabinet, President William Ruto had appointed former CS Rebecca Miano as the Attorney General to replace Justin Muturi, but failed to submit her name to Parliament for vetting and later reassigned Miano, leaving the position vacant until today. The task force on the Shakahola mass deaths has concluded its work and presented the report to President William Ruto. The task force, which was chaired by Reverend Mutava Musiemi, has recommended the establishment of the Religious Affairs Commission. The task force was mandated to identify the legal, institutional, and governance challenges that could lead the growth of religious extremist organizations, sects, and cults.
This report is very important to us as a nation. It is very important to me as a leader who values religion. And therefore, we will be taking the next steps in making sure that the good work you have done so far translates into what will do two very important things for us. Number one is to protect our freedom of religion in Kenya, to make sure that we safeguard the place of religion in our country, and to also make sure that that freedom is accompanied by protection from those who want to abuse religion for other reasons. The next steps on the discussions on the policy framework that you have suggested, on the legal framework that you have suggested, will be informed by the broad views, perspectives, ideas, suggestions from the people of Kenya. Because public participation is now part and parcel of our legislation framework, of our policy framework, and of all government interventions and interactions.
Now, President William Ruto's announcement that the government is sourcing employment opportunities abroad for Kenyans has been received with mixed reactions by Kenyans a day after 67 teachers were flagged off by Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi for the US. Some agree that the move is necessary, while most Kenyans are of the opinion that the government should create employment. Ian Githuku now reports.
President William Ruto's promise to provide Kenyans with jobs outside the country was followed by his recent assurance that the government will pay for air tickets for those traveling and process their travel documents within a week. This is as part of the plans by the president to have 1,000 Kenyan youths relocate to work in other countries each and every week, a decision that has been received differently by Kenyans, with most citing it as a wrong move.
I think the president is misadvised, and that is a wrong way to go as a leader of a country, whereby you should create opportunities in your own country for your people, create good avenues for your people, so that people do not become slaves in other people's country. Who are those who have built that country that you want to take your people? That you, yourself as a president, as a leader, you cannot build in your own country. Sit down with your cabinet, with your fellow leaders, and invoke all articles of the Constitution, including Article 43, whereby the people of Kenya should be provided with essential services.
While some have seen the decision to source for jobs abroad as a good solution to unemployment in Kenya, others have cited their concerns that this might be another of the many unfulfilled promises.
Yes, I know the president has said they're going to make the passport acquisition process ikuwe rahisi. From history, we know what has been happening. We just hope that he will be true to his word for the first time, and that hiyo kitu wanasema ati watalipia watu wenye wanatafuta kazi nje air tickets, it will be factual. But at the same time, we want to see the things he's doing. Of course, he's made promises here and there of how he's going to kuamsha kampuni zenye ziko at the coast province, how he's going to try and create employment with the affordable housing plan. But professionals are now saying that we have doctors, the interns who have not gone back because we do not have a payment plan for them. We have teachers who have not been employed because the government has not said anything about it. We have watu across the country who are complaining about pay.
The exportation of labor has been termed as a contribution to the brain drain of our country, as some of the country's best academias might end up having to benefit other countries with their skills.
Our long-term solution is we need to find employment at home. Because one of the things that this country has suffered from for a long time is brain drain. Brain drain is where you take the best brains from your country and you take them to other countries to go develop those other countries. Of course, what the president is hoping is that the people who go to work there will bring back their resources home, and their resources will develop the country at the same time while diminishing unemployment.
Although the president has promised to have the travel documents of those traveling processed within a week, some Kenyans have complained about the high cost of passports, seeing that the cheapest passport now goes for 7,500 shillings. This, they feel, might be a hindrance to the many seeking to benefit from the said 400,000 job opportunities.
Tunaambiwa hivi, nitoke hapa nyumbani kwetu nikafanye kazi nje. Si vibaya, ni sawa. But then why can't we do, wakitaka kutulinganisha sisi na kitu kizuri, wanatuambia kwamba even these tiger nations zilikuja kufanya kazi baada ya kutakisiwa kwa nguvu na kupewa maslahi yao wenyewe, wakaja wakafanya kuendeleza nchi yao. We don't want to take our children and labor abroad ili kwamba tukatafute ajira huko. Kwa nini serikali imeshindwa kutokana na ahadi yake yenyewe? Serikali imeshindwa kutuandalia ajira hapa.
The deployment of Kenyans has however already started, as 67 teachers were flagged off by Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi as they headed to the US after securing job placements in various schools in the United States. For Hope TV Newswatch, my name is Ian Gedhuku.
Thank you so much, Ian, for that report. Now, the International Association of Women Judges in Kenya, led by Chief Justice Martha Koome, in collaboration with Equality Now, has launched a new initiative to combat sex trafficking. Our reporter Mason Lowell with more.
As Kenya continues to have one of the highest rates of human trafficking in Africa, the International Association of Women Judges in Kenya, in collaboration with the Equality Now organization, has launched a new initiative to combat sex trafficking by launching the Kenya Judicial Bench Book on Trafficking in Persons for Sexual Exploitations.
Today we're launching the Trafficking Bench Book against sexual exploitation. And this is a real milestone for us because trafficking in persons is a most pervasive crime. It continues to happen even when people are not aware that they have been trafficked.
Speaking during the launch event, Chief Justice Martha Koome highlighted the importance of this resource as the bench book aids judges and judicial officers in identifying the often insidious crime of trafficking, whether for sex or labor exploitation.
We are hoping with the bench book, it will sensitize many people, and we are really targeting on prevention. So if this book is implemented and brought to the attention of all the actors, then I think the numbers will go low. I think there are many international conventions and treaties against trafficking in persons, and many countries have signed and become parties to these treaties. So it is very, very easy to cooperate with another country when it comes to dealing with this heinous crime of trafficking.
At the same time, Judge of Court Appeal Agnes Murgor emphasized that creating awareness is crucial in preventing sex trafficking, as the prosecution under the Counter Trafficking in Persons Act is complex due to the wide-ranging elements that define trafficking. But understanding these elements makes it easier to secure convictions.
To be very honest, prosecuting and securing convictions in trafficking in persons crimes, as I said a little bit earlier, is not a very easy situation. Because today in Kenya, the understanding of the crime has not been unpacked so that everyone understands what it's all about. We find that even perhaps within the justice process, you might find 2 or 3 cases reach conviction point. But to a very large extent, this is a very difficult crime to prosecute, And so we need to create more awareness. We need to create more understanding of how these crimes are perpetrated.
The Global Lead for Equality Now program, Tsitsi Matakaire, also added that the bench book aims to educate judicial officers on sex trafficking dynamics, offering a trauma-informed and human rights-based approach.
Ultimately, what we want to see is that victims of trafficking, sex trafficking, are able to access justice in line with the Constitution of Kenya. So when we go into the bench book itself, it has a number of chapters. The first chapter is really looking at the key terms. What does sex trafficking mean? What does a trauma-informed and human rights-based approach look like? And then we go into defining the crime of sex trafficking, looking at the different elements, so the act, the means, and the purpose, and really elaborating on those key principles, looking as well at case law or cases that have gone through the courts in Kenya. We also have another chapter that is really looking at approaches to pre-trial and trial processes, ensuring that the rights of victims are upheld. We look at issues that are particularly key to victims of sex trafficking as they appear before the courts, and for judges and other judicial officers to be aware of the dynamics of what's happening with victims when they come through. Sometimes they are nervous, they are fearful, and that can affect the way that they give their testimony in court. And we are also encouraging judicial officers to also look at the needs of children, because we know that children are a big demographic that's affected by issues of sex trafficking.
These efforts aim to enhance justice for trafficking victims and strengthen prosecution efforts across Kenya. Reporting for Hope TV Newswatch, Mason Lowell.
Thank you so much, Lowell, for that report. Now, the ongoing week-long mission in Goma, North Kivu, in the Democratic Republic of Congo is gaining momentum. The SITA missions team held a series of workshops on Tuesday aimed at educating residents about God and addressing various pertinent topics that resonate with their daily lives. Our very own Grace Ahati is in the DRC and filed for us the following report.
Na tumalizie tukiona Mungu anavyosema katika neno lake.
In efforts to empower residents in Goma, North Kivu province in the Democratic Republic of Congo DRC through the gospel, Christ is the Answer Ministries SITAM on Tuesday held workshops in the region. As the SITAM missions team entered the second day of their outreach in Congo, they engaged with residents at the ETRC Ebenezer Church in Goma and also conducted outdoor evangelism to win more souls to Christ. Divided into various categories, women received training on building strong marriages that honor God.
Nimekuja kuongea juu ya ndoa ambazo zinamcha nani? Mungu. Ndoa ambazo zinapatia Mungu heshima. Ndoa ambazo zinamtukuza Mwenyezi Mungu. Amen. 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 Amen.
Tunawachagua, tunafikiri kuhusu viongozi kanisani, tunafikiri kuhusu viongozi mtaani, tunafikiri kuhusu wale ambao wako hapa. Lakini tunapofikiria kuhusu kuongoza mpendwa, ni kujua ni nini kinachohitajika kufanyika na kukifanya kifanyike.
Men, on the other hand, were challenged during this mission to serve as role models for their peers and younger generations.
Wewe umeteuliwa na ndio Biblia inasema haustahili kunywa pombe wala mvinyo. Biblia iko na watu wachache sana. Nimeipitia nenda rudi pamoja na wenzangu, na sijui kama kuna mtu mwingine anaweza toa mfano wa baba mzuri mwingine. Sofia wale tu wachache. Na hivyo ndio kanisa liko. Tubadilishe hii mawazo. Wacha sasa tukue mfano mzuri wa baba na wanaume wanaofaa.
The youths and children were also not left behind as they received valuable insights into faith-based living and personal development.
Methali 22 na mstari wa 6 inasema, instruire l'enfant selon la voie qu'il doit suivre.
Wale watoto kwa njia ambayo inapaswa.
Et quand il sera vieux,
na watakapokuwa watu wazima,
il ne se détournera pas.
Hawata isahau.
Amen.
This initiative follows a successful outreach event held on Monday, July 29th, where an impressive 165 individuals made the decision to give their lives to Christ out of the 358 people reached during that day's activities. Reporting for Hope TV Newswatch, I'm Grace Ahati.
Thank you so much, Ahadi and Whiteman in DRC Congo. Now moving on swiftly, more than 2,900 residents in Nairobi have benefited from medical camps hosted by the M-Pesa Foundation. The camp, which was held as part of the annual Ghetto Run, marked the culmination of a series of medical camps held by the M-Pesa Foundation in the Nairobi metropolitan area since May 2024.
Today we had the Ghetto Run, and the medical camp has come to complement this Ghetto Run, to complement all the good that is coming from the Ghetto Run and to really impact the community and to help livelihoods here. So this is our 16th medical camp from M-Pesa Foundation. In these 16 camps, we have managed to impact 40,000 Kenyans, and we hope to impact many more today in this medical camp here. This has been very significant. This is an opportunity for us to offer access to quality health to members of the community. It's also significant to us that this event is being held at a national polytechnic, because education is also important in terms of transforming lives within the community. So from this point of view, one of our key areas, one of our key target areas in the education pillar is TVET. So we hope that this also will be a spur for the young people in the community to access TVET institutions and to be able to be empowered.
Kwanza nilijua about this camp kufuatia message nilitumiwa kwa M-Pesa, nikaalikwa kuja kwa camp, na nilikuja hapa nikiwa na shinda ya pressure. Nimepimwa pressure ikawa juu kiasi na nimefaidika, kwa sababu nimeleta pia mzee mgonjwa ako bedridden, hawezi tembea, na tumekuja ameangaliliwa na ametibiwa, tumepewa mandawa, ameweza kuwa registered na NHIF, na nimefurahi, nimeshukuru.
Crossing borders now, and former South African President Jacob Zuma has been expelled from the African National Congress Party. After backing a rival party in May's parliamentary election, Zuma was suspended from his long-time party in January after announcing that he would support the new Umkhonto weSizwe in the general election. He later became the leader and face of MK. MK did better than expected in the poll and won about 15% of the vote, a major factor in the ANC's loss of its majority for the first time since the apartheid era. Zuma will have 21 days to appeal the decision. Now, the Kenya Tourism Board is rallying Kenyans in diaspora to support tourism promotion. While addressing the Kenyan diaspora during the launch of the campaign at the Kenya House on the sidelines of the Paris Olympics, KTB CEO June Chepkemei said that the campaign is an embodiment of belief that the board has with diaspora's power to play a role in driving tourism to Kenya. Well, with that, we come to the end of our news tonight. Many thanks to you for making time to watch Hope TV Newswatch. We really do appreciate the value of your time. On behalf of the amazing team that made this bulletin a success, have yourselves a blessed night. My name is Kennedy Kimani, and signing for us tonight is Boniface Moredi.